Hi, how are you? Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all okay. We're going to do the quilt along. So it's week 6 of the quilt along. Hope everybody has had a lovely day. I've had a bit of a crazy day, to be honest. I'm not in a very good mood, so I hope you're all going to cheer me up. Some things have gone slightly wrong with the renewal whole planning thing, but we're sorting it. It's been a bit stressful today, a little bit stressful. But never mind, we will get it sorted, I'm sure. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just to let you all come online, see who's coming to play tonight. There we go. Hi Bernie, how are you, darling? You okay? Hopefully you are. We're going to play some English page piecing today. I'm going to... Oh, sorry, I've got hiccups. Stuffed my... it's a bit echoey here. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Drew said he'd sorted all the microphones. Right, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me see if I can sort it. So, definitely got that microphone on. Why? I shouldn't have that one on though. So, if I do that, can you still hear me? Has the echo gone? Let me know, guys, in the comments. It's alright. Drew sorted out some bits. So I'm echoing. Am I still echoing? Has everything stopped echoing? That's better? Excellent. Good-o. Oh, get me knowing the technology. Right, let's have a little look. Who's coming online? So hi Eileen, hi Natalie, hi Claire, hi Helen, hi Liz, hi Ali, hi Mary. Echo's gone, brilliant. Hi Lindy Lou. Hi Liz, there we go. Hopefully, I sorted it. I knew which button to press. Get me. I'm all chuffed with myself now. Sorry, Drew came because one microphone wasn't working, so he came and swapped it all over. But he's also put our new little card on with the JB sponsor on it as well for us. But obviously, he didn't press one of the buttons, and I knew how to do that, so I'm going to tell him off later. Not the later, because I don't see him. He doesn't live here, but I'm gonna have a little mini brag at that. Going, get me sorting it out. Hi Nikki, hi Carol, hello darling. Right, excuse me, I just got to blow my nose. I'm really extra. So I've been cleaning in the shop today. Dust, nose goes off. So I'm suffering now this evening for cleaning. Told you cleaning's not good for you. Oh, excuse me. Right, so we're going to have a little look at, this is block 6, so this is the last of the flower blocks that we're going to be doing, okay? So we obviously started with the fenced-in blocks, and then we've done all the other flowers. This is the last one. I'm going to show you the flower that I originally planned, but I'm also going to show you something that I've been playing with that I quite like as well, so which you can absolutely do as well as, or instead of, or play around with, but we'll talk about that. I have done you a download for the paper piecing sized pieces, both the hexie and the diamond that I'm going to show you. Hi Vanessa, how are you, lovely? But we're going to talk about how to do it traditionally. I imagine a lot of you have had a go at hexes in the past. So I'm going to very briefly talk you about through the hexes, and I'm going to show you how you can attach the hexes on the machine if you don't like hand sewing. And then I'm going to talk you through the other option that you've got as well. And then at the very end, we will I'm going to talk you through about putting it all together, putting the centre of the quilt together. Obviously with that, because I'm very short of space here, I can't get I haven't put the whole quilt together, but I can't lie it all out for you in one piece. So what I'll do is I'll put the graphic back up for you on our Facebook page, and you can either screenshot it or just, download that picture so that you can see how they're all supposed to go. But remember, it's your quilt, so you can kind of put it together how you want. You don't have to follow my layout. That's just one option. So let's go over to the overhead. There we go. Hopefully this is working. Right, am I echoing over here? Have I got to shut that mic off as well? Am I echoing over here now, guys? So hopefully I'm over here. This is working. Let me know. I'm going to keep an eye on the comments and see if that echo, if he's managed to put the echo on this one as well. So, I've done, like I said, I've done nope, fine. Brilliant. Thank you, darling. Sorry, I'm really sneezy today. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So this is a very traditional grandma's hexie. Okay, grandma's, you know, you'll have seen grandma's flower garden and all that sort of thing. Oh, sorry, guys, I am very sneezy. And I've done really nice big hexes. So I've cut a 12.5-inch square of my background fabric. You will need 7 of the hexes. Again, I've done the right size for you on the download. Okay, it's already on there. I'll put it on. Hi, Jean. How are you, lovely? Hi, Maria. You'll need to do 7 of these. Okay, you want 1 for the centre and then 6 to go around the outside. So I'm just going to very briefly show you how to do them in case you've never done EPP before. On these ones, I used print paper, which was a little soft, to be honest. But then on these ones, I'm going to show you this one very briefly, but we'll go back to this. I used a cereal box. And actually, this was too stiff to stitch through. It was not an easy stitch. I didn't like stitching this one because this was too hard. If you've got like sugar paper or something like that, thanks, Jean. If you've got like sugar paper or a slightly thicker card to go through your printer, then I would use that. You want something in between printer paper and full-on cereal card, to be honest. Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to blow my nose again. I'm really, really mega snuffly today. It's the dust from where I was cleaning. And my stupid nose. Right, there we go. Okay, hopefully that stay off. Right, I'm not going to use my fabrics because I don't want to use them. I'm just going to use some scrap fabric for now, okay? Just for the demo. Again, you can choose. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do these towards the end, so you can use your scrap bits up because you don't need a very big piece of fabric at all. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to just pop your hexagon on and draw around it. Okay, so just whatever pen, whatever, I've got Fricks on, but whatever you want. Obviously not a Sharpie, I don't use a biro, but pencil, pen, whatever. Okay, all the way around it, and then you're going to cut it out. Okay, so I like to be quite generous with my seam allowance. I find it easier to sew. So what's that? Just about a quarter, maybe a little bit smaller than a quarter of an inch. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way around like that, and then through again. Okay, oh, like that. God, I need to sharpen these scissors. So how is everybody? Are you all okay? How did you get on with your plique blocks? I will show you my finished ones because I did 2 very different ones. Hi Allegra, how are you, lovely? Right, so I've got my little hexagon like that. You don't have to be overly neat. You can measure it if you want, but I just tend to hack it out. You're going to put your paper back in. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you just want to pin that in place and cut round, you can. I just tend to draw them because it's a habit of mine. I like to glue baste. You can tack these if you want to, if you don't want to glue baste, but glue basting, I just find it so much easier. You don't need much. Little squib on the top like that and work your way around. So I've got a little bit on the fabric and then on the paper, and just gently fold it and try and fold against the paper, but make sure you're not folding the actual paper. Okay, don't like really pull it tight. You just want a gentle fold over. There we go. So we had a crazy busy day in the shop today. It was just one of those random days, really, really busy in the shop. Lots going on, which was really nice. We saw a lovely Carrie. She came in. I haven't seen her for ages, so that was really nice. And we saw our Jackie as well. So that's your hexie all done. It's quick and simple as that, okay? You can give that a little press if you want to. Did you miss the size of the hexie? No, so I didn't actually say it. I've done a digital download for them, lovely. I've done them for the hexie and for the diamond as well. They measure a lot across this end. I'm never sure quite. I don't know whether you're supposed to measure across or whether you're most supposed to measure the side. I always measure the side, so that's what I go with. They are I would say they're a 2-inch hexie because each side is 2 inches. Okay, but like I said, I've done this for you. It is on our website. It's on the website. It's £1 for the download. Okay, it's £1 there. It's digital download, and you can just download it and then just cut them out. They're already done for you. What glue pen are you using? So this is it's very well used, as you can see. Because you can buy refills for these, and I've had this for years and years, and I just buy the refills. We sell them again in the shop and in the website. It's the Soline fabric glue pen. and then you can buy the refills. Let me just grab one for you and I can show you. They were in here. There we go. And you can buy just the little so you can, you know, reuse the pen over and over. You just buy the oh, that's actually an empty one. I've used that one. But you buy the little refills, and it's the glue which just goes. You twiddle that all the way up. It folds back in, and you twiddle it all the way back down. And you've got a new one. Okay, so yeah, it's the Soline glue pen. What's that? You need some sunshine. I need some sunshine too. Lovely fabric. Yes, this is oh, I don't know what it is. We had it in the shop ages ago. I've just using up some scraps because I didn't want to use my actual fabrics just for the demo in. There we go. So you would do that. I'm going to do it on 2 different ones just so that you can see. Let me grab another bit. There we go. This is what I was using for I dug out of a scrap bucket for the fish the other day. Here we go. Just chop this out quickly, just so we've got something to work with. Okay. Ooh. This is why you just pin it in, sir. Pin it in and make life easier for yourself. There we go. There we go. So, but yeah, the Soline glue pens, I love them. I use them a lot. They're brilliant if you're putting zippers in as well. If you want to put a zipper in and you don't want to have to try and pin it or tack it, you can use those to glue it in. It's a temporary washable glue, so it will be on the fabric until you wash wash your quilt or whatever. But it works brilliantly. It is just temporary. You can peel it off as well. It's not like it's really so strong you can't peel this fabric off and get these papers out. So there's my second one. So they're nice and quick to do, hexes, particularly when they're a big hexie like this. Ooh, a bit more glue in there. There we go. And over we go again. And again. And I'll just fold that one over. Okay, so there's my hexes. All right. Let that pink can come out now. So traditionally you would put these right sides together like that and then just whip stitch. And all I mean, so I've got a yellow thread, so hopefully you might be able to see it. You just literally just pop your needle in and try not to get the paper, just pick up the, try and do this as close to the camera as I can for you. Pick up just the edge of the fabric, okay, and you whip stitch along. Okay, the thing with whip stitching is you will see some of the stitches on the other side. It doesn't matter how careful you are, you will see them. So choose a coordinating colour thread if you want to whip stitch, and you just go literally over like that. They don't have to be mega close, you know, but you don't want them too big either. So what's that? There's one there, okay, like that. The other option you can do is what they call a flat back whip stitch. And what you do with that is you keep them flat like this. You keep your hexes flat. Some people will put a little piece of masking tape across here, okay, on that side to keep them flat, which works brilliantly actually, but I can never be bothered to try and find the masking tape. So I use a clip. I put a clip like that on the end. And with a flat back, you keep them flat as you sew, and you take a little bit from this side, like that, and then a little bit from that side. Okay. Trying to do this close for you like that, and then pull it together. A little bit from that side, a little bit from that side. There we go. And you make sure you pull them not too hard. You don't want to buckle them, but you want to pull them quite close together. And they don't have to be really close either. They can just be, you know, what's that, like 1/8 of an inch apart? Not even that, 1/4 of an inch. I don't know if you guys are going to be seeing this. Can you see that where I did the whip stitch, because I went a little bit big on that one, you can see the thread, but where you do the flat back, you can't see the thread at all. That's why I prefer that method, okay? But entirely, it really doesn't matter. If you use a coordinating thread, it doesn't matter, okay? So, that's your options if you want to hand sew them, okay? So you would do them all together like that, okay? And you'd work around that centre one. Where's my block gone? There it is. So, I put my first 2 together, and then my second one, I start here and come down and across, stitch down and all the way without breaking the thread, down like that, and then you've only got that one little bit to do, which is less starting and stopping. Okay, so you can do that. If you don't want to hand sew, You can do this on the machine. So let me just cut those threads off. So I've got some, cut that thread down a minute. There we go, like that. Come on. Right, let me just put that needle out of the way. So you're all very quiet, my lovelies. Are you okay? What have you been up to? You can just lie out. You can basically pin your hexes on to a background fabric. So let me just take this off a second. We're gonna machine this one on, but I want to kind of show you how to line it all up. So find your centre, like that, of your background fabric, and again, like that. And then you can line this up. You can do this all on the machine. So fold your hexie in half to find that's the centre of the flat side, and that's going to go along the what's the word, vertical, and then your points are going to sit on your horizontal. So you know that that's in the centre. You can then, obviously you would take the papers out, okay? You before you do this, press this really, really well, give it a squirt of starch and press it, and then take your paper out if you're going to machine it, okay? If you're not going to machine it, then you leave the papers in until it's completely finished, and then you ease the papers out. I'll show you easing the papers out on the other one. But I just wanted to show you how to line this up, okay? So I would line that up like that. You put a bit of glue on there and just hold to stick it in place. If you don't want to use glue, you can pin it into place. But the glue's easier because it doesn't get in the way of the machine. You're then just going to work round with hexie. So hang on, there we go, like that. So that one's going to go there like that. Again, dab of glue without the paper, like that, and hold it down. All right, so you can lie these out without actually sewing them together if you want to do all your sewing on the machine, okay? You're going to lie them out all the way around in whatever design you want, as in this one, okay? So that's what I did with this one, all right? So I didn't do that, sorry. Start again. I hand sewed these because I quite enjoy hand sewing them. But I laid this out in the design I wanted and then hand sewed it. So you could, if you like hand sewing, you could then applique this on, with that invisible slip stitch all the way around if you wanted to. You could just straight stitch this all the way around, and I would probably then straight stitch around the hexie as well. However, there's a cool little stitch which is on most machines. Okay, not all machines, but most machines will have this stitch. It's actually, I think they use it quite for dressmaking, but it's really handy for putting hexes together. So I'm going to take you over to the machine and show you how to do that. There we go. And like that. Okay, so I've got it all well pinned down, all glued, however you want. I'm getting no comments through at all, my lovelies. I don't know if you're commenting, but I've had nothing for like 7 minutes. So I don't know whether the comments are working. Somebody just say hello to me, see if I can bump those comments. So over to the machine. Right, now hopefully you'll be able to see this here. I'm going to hold it up on this machine. So the stitch I'm talking about, I've done it in purple so that you can see, hopefully. Is that, no, that's too dark, isn't it? Is that too dark? No, let me go back to, you're mesmerised. Oh, that's all right, that's okay. Let me go back to the overhead a second. Yeah, oh, I've got lots of comments coming through now. It's obviously all just boosted. So I'm going to go back over here because it's too dark over there to see the stitch. This is the stitch, I've done it just in purple so you can see it, that you're looking for, okay? It looks like it's a vertical line with like horizontal all the way across. That's it with a slightly longer stitch length. You can't see it in the white at all, which is why I quickly did a bit of purple for you. Can I check on the digital downloads? There's a picture of last week's flowers. It's still the hexes. Oh, yes. Sorry, that's my mistake, Maria. Absolutely my mistake. I put the wrong picture on. I remember doing it now, and I put the wrong picture on. If it says week 6 EPP, that is definitely the right digital download. Or just wait till I finish and I'll quickly change the picture. Okay. Sorry, guys. Ugh, idiot girl. So this is so on my machine, it's 1313, but I know that doesn't help unless you've got the same machine as me. I wonder if I can find it in here, whether you might be able to see it a bit better. Hang on. So I don't know if you can see it. It looks like that. Is that any good? Can you see that, guys? I don't know if that helps. Have a look for that stitch. It's in the quilt stitches on a Benina, but I know that my brother had it. I absolutely definitely know my brother had it. So it's a vertical line with lots of little horizontals. It'll probably be in with where the blanket stitches and all that is. Okay, so that must be where you couldn't find it. Yes, I'm very sorry, darlings. That was me being a complete idiot and putting the wrong picture on. But it definitely says week 6 EPP. I remember typing that. I just put the wrong picture on. So I'm going to do this in purple because so you can see it. Okay, won't see it otherwise. But I would absolutely suggest. Oh, hang on 2 seconds. Let me just do that and do that. There we go. I would suggest doing it in a coordinating colour, either tonally over. If you're using all blues, use a blue. Blah blah blah. Camera's moved slightly, isn't it? Let me see. On a brother, it's 34. Brilliant. Thanks, Karen. Mine's under hem stitching. Fab, Maria. Most people have got it, but I don't know what it's called. So I'm going to put the needle. So if you've tacked all yours down or stuck them down with glue and not sewn them, you're going to put your needle right in the centre. This line here. I don't know. Let me see if I can just try and get this camera to come up and over a little bit more. It's not playing ball today. You want to put the needle right between the hexes because remember these won't be sewn together if you're machine stitching. Okay, and then you're just going to sew down. So you want to make sure that this is well pinned or well stuck with fabric glue if you haven't sewn them together. And then you're just going to go down. And it gives a really nice little finish to your hexes. Like I said, I'm doing mine in purple just so you can see it. I will unpick it because I don't want it in purple on the end quilt. But I wanted you guys to be able to see it and you really couldn't see it on the flowers in the white. Play around on a bit of scrap until you find the right stitch length and width that you like as well. That's what I did. I just did a couple of, do I want it longer? Do I want it close together? Do I want it wider? Okay, like that. So I'm going to come right the way down and work my way down. I'm going quite slow. I've got my machine turned right down so that I can really control it. Oh, one more there. Okay, and I want to stop in the centre. So learn the rhythm of your machine. Sarah, can we use that stitch for repairing and tearing clothing? Oh, yes. Sorry, we use that stitch for, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think it is a dressmaking stitch, but it works brilliantly for this. And then I can turn it and I can come down this one. Okay, so this is why you want these really well secured. Either lots of pins if you haven't stitched them together by hand, or lots of fabric glue to get those edges down so they don't move. Okay, and then I can work down this one. So you can, and it's quite nice because it's a bit of a decorative stitch as well. It looks like it's almost like a double blanket stitch because you're doing both sides at once. So, got a whip wonky there. Get back on track, woman. It's because I'm trying to read the comments and guide the fabric at the same time. Shouldn't try and do that, should I? There we go. And all the way down there. There we go. I'm not going to do much more of that because, like I said, I want to do it in actually a coordinating colour because you can see it in real life, but you just couldn't see it on camera. But you would work your way around your hexie like that. If I come back over to the overhead, here we go. You can see, I mean, obviously that's quite stark because it's in purple against these colours, but it's a really nice little finish. So if you like the look of English paper piecing, but you don't like hand sewing, that's a nice way to do it. You can see on the back, I've used white in the back. I didn't bother to change the bobbin, but it's a really nice little finish. You could then you could use this stitch round, but remember it's going to go into your background fabric, or you could blanket stitch, or you could just straight stitch these. I think I would probably blanket stitch them so that it's, because obviously a blanket stitch is that, isn't it? It's a straight one vertical line with just into, it doesn't go both ways, so it would echo round the others. So that's a nice little way of doing it on the machine, English paper piecing on the machine, okay? You need 2 of these blocks. All right. Now, originally, when I was doing this quilt and designing it, I did 2 exactly the same, like this. And then, of course, me being me and my brain going 1,000 miles an hour, I was like, oh, that if I did like diamonds, it would almost look kind of like a chrysanthemum, you know, that sort of like spiky type flower. So that's what I did. So these you would use like tumbling blocks. So normally with diamonds, we do tumbling blocks, don't we? And hang on, I'll just do it with this. So you'd go one like that and one like that. You can tell what cereal the boys would be eating. And you'd put another one up there and you make hexagons out of the diamonds to do tumbling blocks. So you do like dark, light and mid-tone, don't you? And you get that lovely illusion. But you can absolutely do hexes by just doing them like this. Okay, and you can make star shapes. Okay, so if you do stitch those 3 together and then you stitch another 3 together, you get a lovely star, which is what I started with on this one in the center here. Okay, I then made pairs of these little diamonds like that and put them in between the points of the star. Okay, so I then stitched down there and down there, so you've got this sort of double layer behind you. Okay, you can then play around. Okay, so where's those hexes gone? So if you don't want, sorry, I'm throwing a lot of information, and remember this is about it being your quilt. I want you to think about these blocks and go, oh, I could change it like this, or I could change it like that. You know, they should be your designs. Don't worry about these little dog ears here at the moment at the top. I'll show you how to do those in a sec, get rid of those in a second. However, there is no reason once you've got this star why it has to be another row of diamonds, because these are what I call 1 3/4 inch diamonds, because they're 1 3/4 that way. Okay, again, it's on the download for you. I've done a whole sheet of them, so you can just cut out the whole sheet. So because they work together, this would actually fit in there. Okay, so you could have the star in the center. Okay, it's a little big, but it does work. It did work when you do it in the center. You could have hexes around the outside, so you could put 1 2 3 4 5 6 hexes around the outside, which gives you a different look, again a different floral look. Okay, have you taken the paper out of the back? Yes, absolutely. I did when I was doing this one, lovely. Yes, take the paper out before you start your machine stitching. Absolutely, take the papers out. I'll show you how to do that now on this one. I haven't taken all the papers out of this yet because I wanted to show you how to take the papers out. But we're just talking about the design element a minute. So started with my star, my 6 diamonds here, and then I just added pairs of diamonds in on round the outside. You could then add a circle, you know, like we did with the applique. So you could use, let me grab that from behind here. You could use the circle from the applique. Remember this one? You could then put that in the centre, and I think it looks kind of like a sunflower then. You know, if you do a biggish circle, you've kind of got, you know, maybe, oh, excuse me. Hang on. Excuse me, it's my mum calling. Mum, can I call you back? I'm just doing a live.
Okay.
All right, bye. You never know with my mother. If it's urgent, she'll she'll say, no, you can't ring me back. But she was like, yeah, okay. So you could use the circle from this one on the centre of here. Okay, so you can put that in the centre and it gives it another look again. It gives it a completely different look. You could, once you've done this with all your diamonds, you can put a hexie in the centre because that fits. See, I did my quilt maths. Definitely, and it all fits together. I did it deliberate for you guys, okay? That then sits in the centre and gives you another different look. These don't have to be the same colours. You can play around with them. You know, you can do all of these different colours if you want. You know, you can make it as scrappy or as uniform as you like. You really can. So I'm going to go stick with just this for now, all right? What I wanted to show you on these. So I've left some of the papers in. So as I was working, I took the centre papers out. Well, centre cardboard box, cereal boxes out, okay, to use up in these, all right? So one of the easiest ways if you've used fabric glue to get the papers out is just a little bit of heat. The hexy flower looks lovely with the diamonds. Yeah, I think that might be quite nice with that hexy in the centre. You'd have to make this diamond first. You'd have to do this first, but then you'd have to applique that hexy on the top. I'm trying to give you lots of ideas so that you could... oh, stitching tear be solid enough, Maria? I don't think so. I don't think it's... I don't think it's... what's the word? It's thick enough, not thick enough, to allow you to fold over it. If you were super, super careful, when you were folding, ooh, yeah. If when you were folding, if this was stitch and tear, hang on, I'm just going to answer this question, then we'll get back to that bit. If this was stitch and tear, if you'd drawn it onto stitch and tear, when you fold all these bits over, I mean, I found it a little difficult just with copy paper. It's very easy when you're folding over to accidentally fold a little bit of the paper if it's too thin. And then obviously your hexes won't fit together. However, you could use a ruler. If you were really careful with it, if you wanted to use stitch and tear, you could put a ruler along the edge of the stitch and tear and press that over first, like that. Then put your glue on and stick it down. It would be a little bit more time consuming, but you could do it if you wanted to. It's a shame there's only 2 blocks. Would one of each shape look odd in the finished quilt? No, not at all, lovely. I'm going to put one of each in. Absolutely, that's no problem. I mean, you could do 2 of this one, or you could do 2 of the hexes. If you don't, hang on, let me come back over to you a second. You know, if you didn't like all of the tulip blocks and you didn't do all 4, you could add more of these in. Remember, it's your quilt. As long as you've got enough blocks, you could do them all as this if you wanted. I mean, it depends. You might have done all of the other blocks. But no, I don't think it will look odd because there's such a variety of flowers. I don't think if you want to do one of these and one of the hexes, because they sit on opposite sides of the quilt in the finished layout, I don't think it would look odd at all. I think it would look lovely. It'd be absolutely fine, hun. Right, so back over here a minute. I need to have a drink. Play around though. I've given you lots of options of how you can kind of mess around with it and work with it, okay? Anyway, to get your papers out, if you just warm the block a little bit first, so give it a good press, the bit that you're going to do, like that, press it from the right side, and then just give it a little bit of a warm. It kind of just loosens the glue a little bit, and then you can just, I mean, if you've tacked them in, you just cut the tack in, and you lift it up carefully, like that, and get that out, there. Oh, there we go. And it does lift quite, oh, there's me saying it lifts quite easily, and that's gone a little bit. I must have used a bit too much. Don't use too much glue because they are, you know, you can be very sparing with the glue. There we go. Now, it looks a bit frayy, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's always going to look like that because once you've got your paper out like that, you're just going to re-iron that. Which is the other reason I like to be generous with the seam allowance. Okay, some people will cut like 1/8 of an inch, but I always think if you're glue basting and it does fray a little, you know, it's gone a little bit fray, but remember this is going to be appliqued onto something. So I then repress it, okay, so that I've got nice clean edges. In order to get rid of this dog ear, what you want to do is open this out. Now once I've pressed it, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera, but you can really see the pressed lines. I'm going to fold that set. I tend to put my nail, or if you haven't got a nail, put a pair of scissors or something, right on the point. Fold that over on the point like that, so the dog ear is now on the inside, and then refold and repress. Okay, so you're just getting that dog ear tucked away inside, and then press and hold. Make sure that's really nice and sharp. There you go. And can you see that dog ear's disappeared, and you've got that lovely sharp point there. If when you do that, your fabric, you've cut a bit too much on your seam allowance. I'm just trying to find one that one. Maybe you've already tucked it in. Oh, I did tuck one under. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. I'm just trying to find. where is it? There it is. It is that one. Okay. So if you find that you've got a little bit too much when you fold over here, can you see this is going to show? Just trim that bit down. Just trim that because that seam allowance is a bit big. So just trim that seam allowance down like that, so that when it folds over like that, let's repress that then. There you go, you've got a nice neat point, and you can do that on all of your points all the way around. Just take your papers out and then repress it. The other thing you can do is when you put this together is make sure you spin your seams when you press it. So what I mean by spinning seams is this dog ear is going this way. They're all going, they've just happened to go anti-clockwise on this one. It doesn't matter if it's anti-clockwise or clockwise. You just make sure that all the dog ears go round, sit on top of each other, press it nice and flat, and then it'll work. Okay. This one would be harder to do all on the machine. Now I could now put this onto a piece of background fabric, and I could do what I did with the hexes, and I could go down these lines with that, double blanket stitch, whatever it's called. I could just go around the edges and maybe across some of the seams, like stitching the ditch to attach it. But actually having all of these separate first and trying to keep them all in place and doing all without stitching it together, I think will be quite difficult. If you want to have a go at it, go for it, absolutely. I think it's going to take a lot of time and patience. I probably would do this bit and stitch those bits down first, and then I would add that one in and stitch that. I'd do it in sections rather than trying to, with the hexie, it's very easy to lay the whole thing out and then machine stitch into the whole thing. Not as easy with this design, but I do think that this one's got a little bit more flexibility with the end design. So you could put this one onto your background fabric. Like we said, we could add in a hexie in the center, which gives you like a star and then extra points. You could, like I said, doesn't have to be points. It could be hexie points, hexie diamonds, hexie diamonds, hexie diamonds. Yeah, that works. Yeah, because there's 6, so 3 and 3. You can play around with it. Okay, this is one that's really, you can make your own. I think that's everything. Have you got any questions, guys? Is there anything else there that I could tell you about with these? There isn't a picture of this. What I'll do is I'll take a photograph of this one now and I'll put it on with, and the Liberty, the hexie one. They're not finished, but at least you'll have an idea. You'll have something to follow. I'll put them on the digital download with the correct picture. Okay, so that you can just screenshot it or whatever. So you've got an idea, got something to follow on this one. I haven't done a graphic of this one because it wasn't in my original plan. It was just something as we've been working, I thought, oh, that might be nice. That one might work. So like I said, not in my original plan. It was going to be 2 of these. But I think that might be quite cute as well. I'm going to put one of each in mine. So Carol, don't worry. Honestly, I'm going to put one of each, and I think it'll work because they're all the same fabrics, and you've got lots of different flowers in there. I think it'll be fine. I will just very quickly show you the applique ones I finished off over the weekend. So that's my one that I did, which is Bonder webbed, and then I satin stitched all the way around it. So I used a variegated thread on the leaves. I still really hate this. I really hate these 2. I wish these are too dark for me, but it's in there and it's going in the quilt. The other one, I did the turned applique, and I'm going to keep it a lot simpler. I might put just a circle here. I'm umming and ahhing about that, but actually I decided I didn't want the leaves on that one. I quite liked it just like that. It is a little bit thicker because it's the turned applique with the interfacing, but it's still, absolutely fine. I've got interfacing on the back as well. And I hand stitched that one in. I just invisible blanket stitched that one. But I thought, I might keep that one simple. So remember, it's your quilt. You can do what you like, lovelies. Put in the ones you want. Don't worry about them. Right. So that's all of the blocks. All right. What I will do is, what I'm going to suggest you all guys do is, you've now got like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks tonight, to get all your blocks finished. Again, if you don't, it doesn't matter. These stay on here. You can watch them at any time. Is there any other glue you can use? There is a, what's it called? A fabric adhesive glue that is in like a little squeeze bottle, like a PVA. You could use that. I wouldn't use actual PVA. It's too strong. It will soak through into your fabric and you'll get nasty, horrible, shiny bits. If you don't want to use glue, you can tack them. You can just tack them in place around the hexes if you want. If you hate hand sewing and you don't want to do hexes, do 2 blocks from the other ones, that you liked. Just do them in different colours or something. Do them in, do them to match. But this is kind of like, so traditional for quilters. I kind of like the fact it's being added in. You've used Pritt Stick. Oh, there you go. You didn't find that I suppose if it's on the seam allowance on the paper, you'll be fine, wouldn't you? Marie, you had a little trouble with the turn circle because you could see the interfacing poking out the edge. Oh, that's a shame, lovely. So it's about the rolling. It's just about the rolling with that one. If you really don't like it, Bondaweb the circle on top of the turned bits. If it's bothering you, take it off and Bondaweb it, or try again. But when you're rolling it, make sure you're trying to roll that interfacing to the back all the way around the circle. Kind of roll it with your fingers so that it's tucked underneath. If you look, I don't know if you'll see. If you look really closely at mine, if you ever see this in person, I got little bits of interfacing poking out just there. Once you've stitched it on, and there's a little bit just there as well. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all because that's part of the making process for me. If it bothers you though, swap it out for something else lovely. So what I will do is I will put a graphic up now of the centre of the quilt so that you can see hopefully where all of these go. Basically, it's a checkerboard. So it's a fencing block and then one of your flowers, and a fencing block and one of your flowers, and a fencing block. And then the next one is a flower, fencing block, flower, fencing block, like that. So you're creating a grid with your fencing blocks. So just think like black, white, like that, like a chessboard. That's basically what it is. But I will put the graphic up for you so that you've got that. You can screenshot it or just hover on it and you can work it out. But it's a relatively simple. Where you put your flowers in that grid is also up to you guys. On mine I've put the tulips all around the centre, facing outwards. But you might decide actually I want the English paper piecing and the applique round the centre, and I'll put the tulips in the corner. Make the bed, flip the quilt, lie them all out on the bed. That's what I tend to do. It's my biggest space without me having to get on the floor. I don't want to be crawling around on the floor. I'm too old for that. So I tend to make sure I've made the bed nicely. It's all nice and flat, and then I lie them all out on there. It's so much easier, and you can see it. And then take a picture. Take a picture and look at the picture because you can see the whole thing on a small screen, which means your eyes aren't all the way around the room. It's looking at that, and you'll see if you like it. Think about, should I turn that one? Shall I not turn that one? Okay. Hopefully that all makes sense. What I'd like, if you are trying to do it in real time with me, is for you to get that centre bit of your quilt put together. Actually sew that down, okay? And sew your rows together, nest your seams, and put that together. And then when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about putting a border on it. If you want to stop at that point, that's fine. You can just put a stop border on and that's it. But we'll also talk about the twisted ribbon, okay? I did realise, I do apologise, this is absolutely hands up my fault. If you're going to do the twisted ribbon, you may need a little bit more background fabric. I think you'll need another 1/2 metre of background fabric. But I will work that out for absolute definite over this weekend, and I will put a post up before I go away, okay? When I originally did the quilt, I wasn't going to put a border around it. I was going to stop with a finish it at stop border. Then I realised I wanted it bigger. I thought, twisted ribbon would be nice. But I didn't account for the background fabric. You might need, if you're going to put the twisted ribbon on, it makes a very big quilt if you do, by the way. I'll put the measurements up as well for you when I put the extra fabric on. You will have more than enough of your pattern fabrics. I've got loads left over. You've got more than enough of that. It's your background. You might need a little bit more of that. That's completely my error, I'm afraid. I miscalculated that because, like I said, I wasn't originally going to put a twisted ribbon border on it. So that's it for tonight. If you've got any questions, my darlings, anything there that I can go through, or you want to ask about any of the blocks that we've done over the last 6 weeks, so you can, before you put them all together. Are you all okay with what you're actually going to be doing now? Hope so. Excuse me. I'm not seeing any questions, so hopefully you're all okay with that, and you're okay with what we've done tonight. I'm going to go straight on my my laptop, which is over there, change that picture, and I've got my phone, so I'll take a couple of pictures of these EPP ones. I know they're not finished, but at least you've got an idea of something to guide you with on the digital download, guys, okay? You'll have to watch it a few times. Honestly, love, it's not as hard as you think, I promise. Oh, thank you, Eileen. Yes, so I won't see you guys now till I come back on that Tuesday. No, I won't. I'll see you on Tuesday. That's a lie. I'm still working Tuesday. I don't go till Wednesday. I'll see you on Tuesday. Sarah will be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow with a pencil case. And then I will see you next Tuesday. I will be officially on Tuesday. Next time I see you, I will be officially 50. It's my birthday on Monday. I'm actually not bothered at all about it. Really not bothered. I've loved my 40s. They've been amazing. Genuinely, I mean, like the 20s and 30s were, difficult. Kids were small, money was tight, all the rest of it, My 40s have been pretty spectacular. So hopefully my 50s are going to be just as good, if not better. So I will see you all on Tuesday. Lots of pictures. I will send you some pictures. We have and ahed about maybe streaming some of the renewal live with you guys. Sarah and I will probably do a Facebook Live while we're over there, just to say hello to you guys anyway. But then we've decided, no, I'm not sure you lot even want to see what's going on. So anyway, I'll see you Tuesday because I'm just rabbiting now. Sarah will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Any questions, just put them on the video and I will go back and answer them, my darlings. Take care. Have a lush weekend. See you when I'm 50. Bye.